like to welcome you to BOI Meets Wellness, a podcast that discusses the complexities, celebrations, and challenges of building a wellness ritual as a BOI, a person who is born obviously incredible. You are now listening to BOI Meets Wellness with poet, motivational speaker, and wellness lover, Evolve Benton.
BOI, born obviously incredible, especially when you wear it pretty.
Welcome world. How you doing? It's your boy Evolve Benton, your amazing host of this amazing podcast, BOI Meets Wellness, and we are jumping into season 2, y'all. We already have one season, so if you haven't had an opportunity, please go over and head over to boimeetswellness.com and check out season 1 of BOI Meets Wellness. But let's jump into season 2. This episode features the amazing Trans Capitalist K.Kenneth Davis. He's doing amazing work in the financial literacy world. I appreciate him so much. I had an opportunity to sit down and talk to him about his amazing work and how he is a proud transgender male committed to financially thriving through every transition. Kenneth passionately works to educate the LGBTQIA community on the importance of financial literacy. So September is a great time to reconnect with goal setting, and I hope y'all really enjoy this interview with Kenneth. But before we jump into that, I want to drop our wellness tip for this week. And I want you to reconnect with your money goals, y'all. When is the last time you checked your savings account, your credit, your 401k, your investments? You know what I mean? You checked your money up under your mattress, however you organizing or keeping things. When is the last time you have checked on it to see where it's at? Also, when is the last time you evaluated your budget? Is there some ways that you can be saving, or is there something special that you want to save or start saving for? Take the time this month to check those balances, and make sure that your plan to meet your financial goals is in place. One pro tip that I'll give you is to check the interest rate you're getting on your savings account. Most people are getting 1% or even lower than that. But if you head over to Magnifty Money, and I'll leave a link to that in the show notes, you can find a few different banks with higher interest rates, and some that will even let you sign up and get a bonus, right? Like sign up, drop $500 here, and we'll give you $1,000. You know, you never know. And I'll include that link in the show notes. Like I said, I want to thank you all for listening and to really think about, what does it mean to be financially well for you? What goals have you set? You know, we often look at life at this very annual, yearly, December, well, not really December, but January to December type of vibe. But we should really be checking in with our finances, maybe quarterly, maybe monthly, and depending on the relationship, maybe daily, right? But not in a way that makes it feel toxic or makes us feel shamed for spending, but a way that makes us know where our money is going, right? Because when we don't know where our money is going, it could be going anywhere. And oftentimes it's not going towards our goals, right? One thing that I'm saving for right now is my wedding. And every month, my partner and I, my beautiful fiance and I, we put a certain amount of money in our account. And, we know where that's going. That's automatically coming out of our payment, our income to go into that account. And it has an interest rate on it, right? So it's making money. Our money is making money. So really thinking about smart ways to do that. Like I said, this episode features the amazing Trans Capitalist. We're going to jump into that. But before we do, the other thing that I wanted to include on most episodes is an affirmation. And an affirmation is something that you can repeat to yourself in the mirror, or, like I like to do, I'll record myself saying it and listen to it. And what we're hoping is that these words can affirm us to change our mindset, because what we understand is mindset shifts behavior so much, right? We can't really shift our behavior if we don't change our mind, even when it comes to like fitness, the last couple of years, I've been able to like really strengthen my body. I used to not even be able to do one push-up without being on my knees. And I'm so thankful now I could do 20 push-ups for you right here, right now. But the mindset had to change. I had to believe that my body could do this thing that I was not able to see it do, right? So we have to jump in sometime into some affirmation, into imagination, able to push ourselves to the next level. So our affirmation for the day is, my abundance is overflowing and feeds my family, friends, loved ones, and their family, friends, and loved ones. My abundance is overflowing and feeds my family, friends, loved ones, and their family, friends, and loved ones. My abundance is overflowing and feeds my family, friends, loved ones, and their family, friends, and loved ones. Listen to that, repeat it, say it to yourself. We're trying to build generational wealth here, y'all. In order for us to build this abundance into our lives, it can't just affect us. I need it to be overflowing so much that I'm able to help all the people that I love around me. And that abundance is able to love and help all the people around them, right? And that's my own personal mission. That's my own personal goal. But I'm giving that energy to y'all as something to sit with and as an affirmation for you to enjoy this week. So thank you for listening. You can find all of this information and even more at boymeetswellness.com. And now we're going to jump into this amazing interview with the Trans Capitalist.
Kenneth, if you could just, jump in, tell us a little bit about your name. I always like to hear things about people's names, and that's whatever you want to share, and what brings you joy.
Thank you, first of all, having me. This is amazing. I love to get myself out there and reach as many audiences as I can because this is very important. And once again, everybody can call me Kenneth or Kenny, Ken. I'm mad cool and chill, but I'm known as the Trans Capitalist, and I love that name because it provokes so much emotion, especially within our community, because it's just like capitalism. How can you support it? Like, what are you about it? And I'll go on the record letting it know that I do not support capitalism. If there's a better economic system that we can adapt within America, I am all for it. The thing is that it's default. We are born. If you're born into America, you're born into capitalism, and that's what they're using. And it looks like to me, they're not letting it up anytime soon. So it's time to use those rules and adapt it to our community and our behavior. It's just really time because there is an opportunity where we can become better or even get the chance to amass much more money or even capital to help support our endeavors or even help support community endeavors as well.
Yeah, I have to admit, when I seen your name, I was like, yo, what are you doing?
Exactly.
I had to watch the video, but it
exactly, and I got your attention, right?
Exactly. It drew me in. I had to watch it because I was like, yo, let me not hear about my boy over here. You know what I'm saying? Spewing nonsense. But then when I turned the video on, it was actually I think it was something about economics when it comes to trans folks, right? And you were on there going in and just talking about like how much, money we spend, right? Like, which is like our buying value, and really pushing it to us. Yeah. And I was like, this is amazing because you're talking about capitalism, but you're talking about it as a frame and how it affects us, not as a frame that's taking away, right? Like, you're like, how do we get in the game and how do we handle ourselves? So as a trans capitalist, what brings you joy about doing this work?
So my favorite thing is like, one, I just love money. I'm very passionate to learn about money because this is like me transitioning. Like, if everybody knows, I am a proud transgender male. So I transitioned from female to male. And this process is expensive. And as soon as I knew I identified as trans, like, you start thinking about like all the negative things because that's what's always like perpetrated as like, oh, you're not going to get a job. It's going to be expensive. A lot of people are homeless. And I'm just like, yo, I came up where I was like, you know what? No matter what I encounter, I'm going to be successful. So no matter what. So what is the easiest solution to my problem? Money. But then right there in that moment, because also as I came out, my mom was not with it because she's like Black, Southern, Christianity, all these other things. So there was a huge disconnect where I was just like, look, then I'm going to be on my own because I'm not going to like stay suppressed and continue to live a lie. So I was like, I took the risk. So I was like, you know what? I'm on my own. This is what I need to do. And what I need at the end of the day, money. What's going to help solve a lot of my problems? Money. But then at that very moment, I learned I knew nothing about money. Like, what I thought I knew, I did it. And I was like, continue living paycheck to paycheck. And I was struggling. And it wasn't until a point where I was like in so much debt. Like, I just got out of like a horrible relationship. Like, my car was basically like on a repossession list. I had like so much credit card debt on top of college loans. Cause I was like, I'm still going to put myself through school to get this degree. Thinking like that's what you need to do. Just thinking like if I got a high paying job, which I was able to do because I did engineering and I hated it, that, okay, my money struggles would be solved. But no, they got worse. So I was just like, what the hell am I doing? So literally till I like picked up a book that day. And then that's when I learned like, yo, there's rules to this. Like there's honestly rules to money, like how to manage money. Nobody told me, nobody in my family, because I don't know if it's with you, but in my family, if you ask any adult, elder, your mom about money, you're going to get hit, you're going to get smacked real quick, or it's rude, or it's improper to talk about money or ask people about money. And then on top of that, they ain't teaching financial literacy in school. So yeah, I was just like, yo, why did nobody tell me this big hidden secret? And then supposedly, as I like went to business school, I just got my master's in last May, that the people who were like there, of course, white people and other excelling or rich families, they were taught financial literacy at an early age. And they were looking at me like, you didn't know this? And I'm just like, okay, why is nobody saying this secret? So I get mad. And as you can even hear me like passion in my voice there, I was like, nah, we need to share this. Like people need to find this out. I was like, and then that's how it like basically started. I was like, nah, everybody got to know this because I'm so upset that nobody told me. And mind you, this is me at like 25, 26. So I'm just like, yo, I'm late in the game? Nah. I was like, I got to stop this.
Yeah. You know, I talk to folks about this all the time. You know, what is it especially in the Black community where we're not given those tools. I think one thing is, you know, we do shut down when folks want to talk about money. That's still in my family to this day. Like it's either we talking about it in this very imaginative way that makes everybody think that they balling, or we talk about it in a very like, oh, no, don't talk about that. I'm not balling. I'm so poor. I can't even go across the street to buy you a biscuit, right? Right?
Nothing, right? I don't got it. Don't ask me.
Right? But I honestly think that like my folks didn't have the tools, like, you know what I mean, to literally teach me the complexity behind it. Like I knew how to budget. My dad, he used to use envelopes, you know what I mean, which is kind of what I did. I did for like years as an adult. But then when I started getting paid instead of week, like I started from getting paid weekly to bi-weekly. And then at one point, like now I'm getting paid monthly, right? That puts things in a totally different structure. And it's kind of scary sometimes, right? Because you get that one check and it's like, I got to last this for 30 days. I got all these bills. There's less mistakes you can make because you're not going to get paid again, right?
Yes, you got to figure it out.
I really appreciate you, you know, stepping into that forefront and saying, you know what I mean, my folks need this knowledge. I'm going to give that to them. And I think that people seeing you as a Black trans man, you know what I mean? I can imagine that makes it even more accessible. So tell me a little bit about what you did to get out of this, you know, financial distress. Because I mean, I'm doing pretty good financially. I have to admit I'm okay, but I still have debt. I still have student loans I need to pay back. And I'm slowly but surely, I'm kind of like on Dave Ramsey's plan of, you know what I mean, playing off debt. And
you're doing it though. Like,
exactly. I'm doing it, and I'm just trying to keep myself motivated and excited about doing it because it's a new way to look at money for me. Like I used to be just a spender. I spend my whole check, Jordan shoes, everything. So to get excited about saving and paying off debt is a totally different experience, but I am excited about it. But what did you do to get yourself to a place, maybe for the folks who aren't quite ready to necessarily work with you, but want maybe like 2 to 3 steps of what's something that they could do to push themselves to be more financially healthy, especially those folks that are in debt?
First and foremost, I did like how you mentioned, like people are taking care of their health, and now like everybody's on the mental health wave, which is amazing. But my mission, my goal is to make financial literacy like a part of your daily habit, like a part of your life. Like as soon as you need to eat every day, as soon as you need to sleep every day, like you really need to start checking out your finances and start learning as much as you can about it. So it's like I did the same mistakes too. Like as soon as I started getting some money, even when I started learning the rules, I was like, hey, I'm able to build up some money. I'm able to pay some things off. And then I went right back into my badass habits of buying and spending out of control. Like, yo, I got this. I'm going to spend on this. I'm going to flaunt on this. And then even trying to like flaunt on the gram and doing all these things. And then I put myself back into a hole. So I'm just like, okay, that's when I really had to learn that financial literacy is not also knowing the rules, but it's also knowing yourself and developing that discipline and that mental habit. It's really like a lot of habits, and it's not to like take out fun. And that's why I make it fun, because my thing is like, what you're supposed to learn is not like, anytime you think of the word budget, it's always coming with a negative connotation, just like the word diet. Like, okay, you're going to start it for a while and then you hate it because it's so restrictive that you want to stop it. But then I was able to learn just reading, because that's like the type of person I am, that I'll get into that. But just going back to is that you have to reward yourself. At the end of the day, it's like, we all live to a certain point. We all going to have money to a certain point. But if you're just like saving, being so restrictive, not spending nothing, you're going to get bored of it. You're going to get tired of it. And then it's like you're not being able to live life. So it's really finding that balance between both, where it's just like, you know what, I'm getting paid today and I want to save. So I would say like the second thing is like saving with a purpose, of just saying like, you know what, I really want to go on vacation. So what I do, or I like this phrase, I can't remember exactly, but it's like, don't spend money on things, spend it on experiences. So it's like, you know what, I've been working hard, I've been working crazy. But I know when I plan for this vacation, I'm going to buy like the best of everything. I'm going to have suites. I'm going to do all these things, like go on all these different activities. So you know what? I'll save that money for that. Work, save. Now when it's time to have that vacation, it's like I still paid all my bills. I took care of everything I need to. And now I'm able to really like rejoice and live in this comfortability and reward myself of this plan of what I'm doing. So that's why it's like, I'm trying to get people to understand that finances is fun. Like if you're learning it and you're doing it right, as you're learning yourself, you're going to have a lot of fun. As I like work with clients, like they will always thank me and just be like, yo, you took so much stress off of my plate. And then honestly, when I was doing my finances and learning this, that like half of my depression went away, because it's like money was not stressing me out as much. And then even when I get into a hole, that I know I can get myself out of my hole. That's like just knowing like you have the tools, like saying that if you have a flat tire, it's nothing to really cry about, because you have a spare in the back and you know how to change your tire, or at least you know how to call some type of service to change that tire and get you back on the road.
I know that's right. I was thinking about that recently. I'm saving for like a big event that I have going on, and I'm actually able to like set out a plan and do it. Like it feels doable. And I remember maybe even a year, maybe 2 years. Shoot, I would say 6 months ago, I would have felt like that wasn't possible. You know what I mean? Because my mind frame was so much like, no, I can't give, I can't save. But I recently got a new job, and I'm like, okay, I'm making a little bit more money. I also recently paid off my car, right? So I'm like, okay, the car is paid off. I don't have no car note. So then when I looked at the budget, I was like, actually, this is not that bad, right? So the importance of also seeing your money. Can you talk a little bit to the audience about the importance of budgeting? Because that shifted my life so much, just to be able to see the numbers on paper. And what I've been trying to do is, I'm getting better with it. I want to do it weekly, go into my budget, update, when I'm spending. But usually I do it bi-weekly. So that kind of, at the end of the month, I'm always like, dang, wish I could get that extra piece of chicken, but we're going to stick over here with these peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's fine too. But can you talk to the audience a little bit about the importance of budgeting, and how do you work with your clients when they're trying to figure out their particular lifestyle and budget?
All right. So even before we can get to budget, I want to stress the most important factor is preparing yourself to start taking care of your finances, because that's huge. Because it's just like, there'll be times where I knew I was in a hole and I didn't even want to check my bank account. I didn't even want to open. I would have like mail stacked so high of just like bills and collectors and all these things. But like one of the first rules in managing money is like, you have to know how much you're in a hole, because like you can't fill up a hole without knowing how deep it is. Because, and of course, there's no point of keep digging a hole, trying to fill it, and then you're digging back that hole up again. So even getting that mental preparedness and be like, you know what, no matter what this number looks like, I'm going to still take care of it, or know that I have the courage to get through it, and know that, hey, I would tell myself like, this is only temporary. This is only temporary because now I'm actually doing something to get out of this hole. like it's going to stop. So you have to always, as I always mentally prepare every client that I work with, as I mentally tell everybody, like it is the biggest obstacle is mental to get over it, to say like, you know what, this is what I did. Like, this is the mountain I created, but now this is the mountain I'm going to like chip away at and attack. So that's first, even before getting to budgeting. And then secondly, doing budgeting, like the first, on top of that, accounting for what you have spent, that always changes everybody's lifestyle. When I literally like put the numbers of like where everything was going to, like when you sit down and calculate like how much debt you are in, because like I will repeat of like, you have to know how much you have so you can knock it out. That scares the out of you. That scared the shit out of me. And that's why I was like, you know what, I got to stop. I'm wilding. That's why I was just like, where's this money going to? Like, if you really calculate how much you made within a month, like you count all your paychecks, regardless if you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, and you, even if it's that net pay, and then you see that it's still nothing at the end, you're going to get tight. I got tight. The people I work with got tight. And then that's when you commit to like, you know what? Now I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing this again. So what must I do different? That gets your attention so fast, so quick. And then it's kind of like, I hope I'm turning into a game of like, how much can you just have after paying this bill?
Yeah, when you see those numbers, that is definitely a shift in the mind. Like you just sit there and you're like, wait a minute, what is this?
You contemplate your life so fast.
Where are you from? Where were you born? What city raised you, and where are you located right now?
Oh, okay. So I was born in Yonkers, New York. Well, technically I was born in Bronxville, a little bit next to it, but raised in Yonkers, New York. And now I'm currently in Princeton, New Jersey. And I will say, like, before, I know, like, right now I've been quiet on the social media front because I'm about to drop some great stuff, but also understanding that I stopped working with people because I felt like I can do more, or I want to reach more people. So now I just do workshops for groups of people, colleges, centers, clubs, anybody, like, to just make it a group setting, because I really want to dismantle this taboo of stop talking about money, but then also want to build like little financial clubs, which I've seen have been working. Because then it's like when you have somebody that you're building with and working with to a same goal, or even like just sharing, or even having money talks, like that boosts people's confidences. And then it also helps you continue to keep going at it. Be like, hey, because that's when my ultimate goal is also to get people to investing, and not just like the regular stocks and bond investing, but then that's when I like to talk about like queer entrepreneurship, when it's time to start pulling our money together and start acquiring things just like everybody else has been doing out there. Or just like, yo, if my credit score is at a certain point and yours is too, what can we do to get it higher so we both have a possibility of investing back into us, or into our business, or into us?
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. And I feel you on that bigger picture, because, you know, you're bringing families, you're bringing communities, you're bringing teams together by doing that work like that. I knew you had an East Coast vibe. I felt that. I'm from California, and I'm living over here,
go out there. Exactly.
You gotta come visit, man. If you came to visit, I'll take you wine tasting. I tell everybody that we go have some wine, act fancy, real quick in Napa. But what amazes me is how expensive it is to live here. And I know you probably know what I mean by living on the East Coast too. So what I see so much of is folks who like me, right? Like, you know what I mean? I have a 9 to 5, a job that I'm at most of the week. And then I have a podcast, you know what I mean? I'm doing books. I'm going to speaking engagements. I got to hustle. And actually, it's a part of my life story. My dad always had 2 or 3 jobs, so I've never known this concept of one pot of money. But what would you say to folks who are trying to figure out other ways to make cash, right? Like, what are some ways folks can get out there and pick up extra money that might need it in the community?
So on top of that, I would just like to say right now to everybody who ever listens to this, that it is in like all financial books. It's in all financial textbooks. Like it was even in my textbook in business school that it's been founded that to even survive today within America, to even thrive, that you need more than one income. If you just have one income, even if you are hitting six figures, you're still not going to be able to save enough for retirement, and you're still not even going to have access. Like, you still will be living paycheck to paycheck, probably just a little bit more comfortably. But to get like that, everybody wants that retirement to relax and be like, everything's paid for, everything's taken care of. You need multiple sources of income. That is a born fact. Anybody can research it. They will tell you, and they will let you know that right now. That's why you even see people like who are millionaires, who are even people who are executives, high jobs or whatever, that if you ask them, they have multiple sources of income coming in. Some may be passive, which is the ultimate goal to do, but nobody's just working one job out there. And then secondly, I would definitely say, before you know it, like, there are multiple ways to make money. Like, before I still even do, there's like surveys that literally pay people through either Amazon gift cards or even by sending checks and cash through the mail. If you've taken this survey here or right there, there's, I would say, you have to push forward and just start thinking of, that's why I always like to default to entrepreneurship, because this day and age, social media and the internet are our greatest assets. Like, greatest assets. There's nothing that you can do real quick of building, like selling t-shirts, selling products. Even Amazon has like publishing, like you can self-publish books, and you can sell a book or a pamphlet. Remember, a book does not even have to be more than 200 pages. It doesn't have to be more than 100 pages. And you can self-publish it right there on Amazon. You can sell that joint for like $5 a pop. This is where I love where it is great to become creative. Or say that whatever you do that you love, especially like your hobby, there is a way that you can monetize it. Go after it, think about it, research it, because I love the ingenuity of people. And of course, within our community, we are the ones who set the trends, who do everything. Another great thing is consulting. Like, if you've been at your job for X amount of years, or you've been doing something for X amount of years and you know how to do it, there are people out there who do not know how to do it, and that they're willing to pay somebody to teach them how to do it. Honestly, like, for real though, I used to think like, nah, like, you have to be this, or you have to have a degree, or you have to do these. There are so many people out there who dropped out of school, who don't even have a high school education, but are out there on the streets hustling, or not even out there on the streets, are literally just creating like websites where they have e-commerce stores, and they're reselling magazines that they found on the street. There are so many podcasts. Real talk. There's so many podcasts.
People out there making
YouTube
money.
videos. So many people making money. The thing is, don't let your money be stagnant. Just don't let it sit there. Like, let a portion sit there, but start thinking if you can invest. If you and your friends are known to throw parties, then throw an event, throw a party, charge somebody like $2 to $3 at the door. But the thing is, as long as you start thinking in that capacity, you already start thinking in business, and you're already right there, so close to making more money for yourself.
Definitely. So how long have you owned your business, and what are some tips you would give for new business owners, especially around burnout? Because I think that's what I'm trying to work on for 2019 is working more smart than hard.
Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. So what are some tips for burnout, and, how long have you been in business, and maybe a few tips you could give to like new business owners?
Oh, I started, as soon as Trump got into office, the next day I filed for my S Corp. I filed for my business, and I was like, I'm going for it no matter what. But the thing is, you have to understand that it takes a lot of researching and reading. The best asset is always reading, or even meeting somebody that has the similar business that you want to run, and reach out to them and talk to them and ask them how they did it. That's the thing. Like, I would say a lot of people are kind of prideful. I was prideful at a moment, but I know I'm always a student. I know that there's always somebody smarter, faster, stronger out there than me. But that's fine. I'm going to be your best friend, so I can learn what you're doing so you can help me. And then secondly, I would say for the burnout, I always had that problem, because I also had sickle cell anemia, And at times I would get like so stressed out, or I'd be doing the most, or I'd put myself into a crisis and put myself into the hospital. But I had to learn that you have to prioritize everything. There's a difference of like running and getting traction, or there's a difference of running and staying in place. And like, as I talk to a lot of people about their business, and especially this business concept that I love, is time versus money, right? If you're starting a business, you're probably going to be eager to get as much money as you can. And that means taking on as any type or as many clientele as you can, because they're offering you money. But then sometimes the time and energy spent in servicing that client is not worth it whatsoever. And that's why I'm like very selective of the people I work with, and that I'm very selective of the people I choose to help. Because then sometimes, yes, they're giving you a paycheck, but the amount of time and energy that went into helping that person is not worth it at the end of the day. And that's going to like accelerate your burnout. So it's just like prioritizing what are the goals I'm trying to reach for my business. Secondly, is this money, regardless of how much it's paying, is it really going to help me achieve my goals and get me where I need to do? Or is it just going to stress me out? Because if it's going to stress me out, I'll pass, because I'll know that there's somebody else out there who won't, who's actually worth the time, worth the wait. With your business, you have to be very strategic in everything that you do. So just like your finances, and because I have an engineering mind and logical, I always map out everything before I execute. Sometimes it works like negatively in my favor, because sometimes I'll plan, and I'll never like do any action. But then it still doesn't hurt to always have a plan, because this way you're seeing the steps ahead of time to be like, if I went this route where I encounter A, B, C, or D, or if I went left, maybe I might do 1, 2, 3, but at least I know before, because like I said, your time is the one thing and the one commodity that you can never get back. And that's why I say, even as much as I love money, money ain't that important, because I've been broke before. I've been struggling. I have money. I'll get money. And then there'll be times again, even now, that I'll be in lows and that I got to wait out or I got to save again, but I know it's coming back. But the one thing ain't coming back, especially with sickle cell, is my life and my time.
I know that's real. One of my good friends has sickle cell, and, you know, just seeing folks have to navigate that pain and still continue to do work or to continue to show up, you know, it's really, really a big deal. So what are some of your other wellness practices? I know that, you know, you're trying to stay on top of your money, stay on top of your business, but what else do you do, whether it's meditation, working out, to make sure that you're, you know, keeping your body together and keeping your wellness at the top level that you want it to be, right? Because I always tell folks, when it comes to like wellness practices, it's not about being like somebody else. It's about you looking at yourself and saying, what do I need to perform at the highest level, right? And performance, people always automatically go to work, but sometimes performance is showing up as a good friend, showing up as a good family member, showing up as a good partner, right? Like, in order for you to show up for the folks that you care about, you got to take care of yourself. So what are some of the things that you end up doing?
Oh, definitely meditating and journaling. Like, those are my two greatest things, because to me, my mind is my greatest asset. And especially with like having sickle cell, and then especially like being trans, I'll never forget how like one college professor, because there'll be times, like, especially in college, I was like partying too hard. And then I like top of school, I'll get like really sick all of the time. But I was really smart, and she noticed that. And she's like, for you, she's like, your best asset is your mind. And she's like, find jobs and opportunities where they pay you for how smart you are. So for me, that knows like I need to take care of my mental health and my mental capacity, because like execution, anybody can execute anything. But to me, as I know for myself, my biggest block is like fighting my depression, because there are times I have depression. I have like depressive bouts that I don't want to do nothing. I can't even get out of bed. That like I'll have all this work like in front of me, or I'll even get like these great opportunities, and then like doubt will kick in too. And it's just like that whole imposter syndrome. Like, even when people reach out to me like, yo, I watch your stuff and I love your stuff, I'm so shocked, and I'm just like, wow, like I can't even believe it. But that's when I knew I'm standing in my way. So what are the things I need to do to get out of my way? And I noticed like as soon as I get up, I literally, like, me and my girlfriend or me and my wife, I love this woman, but as soon as I get up, like, silence, don't talk to me for the first hour. Like, I'm meditating, I'm reading the books that I need to read, and especially, like, I love reading, like, mental health and spiritual books. And then also I love, like, reading autobiographies, like currently reading the autobiography of Malcolm X, and he's so dope. I didn't know, like, all the stuff that he did.
One of my favorite books, man. One of my favorite books.
That book is so lit. I want every, especially if you're trying to be an entrepreneur and you really want to help your community, and, like, he tells you how he amassed, like, the Nation of Islam to where they got. Like, those are business practices, and those are, like, business gems right there and there. But like I said, until I read, I would have never known that. So just me, and then especially journaling really helps me. Like, it holds myself accountable, and that's, like, a place where I can, like, write my fears, write my doubts, and then really, like, read them and see, like, when you read that out loud, it's all different from in your head. So it's just, like, those two great things. Or even also meditate within the day too. Like, if I feel overwhelmed and stressed out, and thank God for, like, sickle cell, I call it my alarm system. Like, I know when I get too stressed, I'll feel that pain, and it's just like, all right, you gotta sit down. Like, you gotta take a time out. So I just gotta meditate. And those two things have been a lifesaver. Like, I have books, like, I've journaled for every year. And I really want that because later give it to my kids or whoever to just read my own collection. Like, maybe they can find some gems in there.
Thanks for that reminder. I used to journal a lot, and I want to get back in the habit, and hearing you talk about it really has me excited to, that can be a part of your legacy. I think oftentimes, because we are in this capitalistic, country, we think that the only thing we can leave is money or gold or some riches, but leaving our words, leaving our thoughts to the people we love, like, that's hella important. So we're gonna shift gears in a few questions and get into boy talk and hot. But I wanted to ask you, one of my final questions for you is, you have a lot of conversations about supporting the financial literacy and lives of trans people of color. So maybe if you could speak to that community in particular about how would you support a person financially and around their wellness if they're preparing for any type of medical transition? Because, like you talked in the beginning, it is really expensive. I mean, I have friends who, just had, like, top surgery, and not only did they have to spend the money on the surgery, right, but then they're out of work for, like, a month or two.
Yeah, sure.
If you don't have particular caregivers or people to support you, then you got to figure out, can you hire someone to come out and take care of you? It just seems like it's way more expensive than actually people are talking about. And I know that some people's experiences is that they got community and they get support, and some people do it all alone. And like you said, end up in this big, big hole. And I can imagine if they had, been more prepared or even talked to somebody like you, maybe they could have avoided that. So maybe just a few tips, because I know that's, like, your expertise for our community, because I know that they would love to hear it.
I know the whole trans struggle that, like, if you're even able to have the opportunity to get your top surgery or your bottom surgery, that you're going to try to do whatever you can and to get it as fast as you can. And this is why, like, it pains me to say it, but I wish, like, sometimes if I, like, waited a little bit longer to prepare myself financially, that I would have been so much better off. And this is why I say, like, financial literacy and my masculinity saved my life, because I knew that if I did not get out this hole, that I would try to be exiting out of life again. Like, I already attempted suicide at least 3 times. And I knew, like, this is a time where I was just like, look, if I'm not doing this transition, if I'm not getting this surgery, like, there's really no point for me being here. But then that's why I was just like, okay, what do I need to do to get there? I had to start reading about how to start saving money. And my thing is, like, don't think, and this is what I want everybody to know, like, you can start no matter how much you make or no matter where you are. If you're even saving $1, which, remember, and I'll tell people right now, like, please, because I know a lot of people tell me, like, with this image, they're like, yo, well, you lucked out, you were born into money, you had all this stuff and opportunity and access. Like, no, I did not. There is a point, and there was multiple points where I literally had not $1 to my name. I did not know where my next meal was. that like I didn't know where I was going to sleep. Like, please understand that. But I just knew if I started putting $1 away, that's something better than nothing. And as we say in the finance world, like $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow, because that $1 tomorrow might not be there. So this is where, if you're waiting for your top surgery or your bottom surgery, if you're waiting, this is the perfect opportunity to use the internet, because this is the greatest tool. Because remember, and going back to like the Malcolm X joint, back in the day, like just being black, we were not supposed to read. People literally like locked us out of libraries. People locked us away from just any type of education to keep us stagnant, to keep us dumb. And now we have the access. Like, ain't nobody able to hold any type of information away from you. And as I always say, especially to people who always got something to say, like if you're able to write a comment on Facebook, then you're able to go to Google and learn how to manage your money, learn how to save. Like, what are some tips? Because there's something for everybody out there. There's literally like multiple articles, multiple topics, and multiple methods of how to save and start from nothing. There are thousands of people who started with nothing, but slowly built their way up. But you need to understand, it's understanding just like that knowledge and that method, because you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Forgive yourself. I had to learn how to forgive myself. I still make mistakes right now with my money. Like, damn, I never should have spent that, or that was not worth it, or I forgot that there was this bill I need to pay. Like, nothing's perfect, but just having, like, I'll continue to embed in everybody, just continuing to have those financial habits, just like as you're waking up and brushing your teeth, or understanding, like, as soon as you get money, if you just stop to think like maybe I should plan this better, my goal is mission, and I am so fucking proud of you. Like, sorry for cursing, but I'm so proud of you, because there are so many people who do the opposite. And there's so many people that are in that situation. But if you stopped and took that one moment to think, how can I get here from A to B, or how can I get, or how can I get my surgery? Yeah, you are winning. So please do that. Definitely, what's another one? Oh, and also know there are multiple resources out there. And this is why I say, like, start using your brain. Since I'm a mental person, if you literally give your mind a task of how to solve a problem, your brain will start thinking of possible ways to solve that. So please just stop thinking of what you see out there of like, oh, you have to have a job, you have to get insurance. Like, nah, there are a lot of organizations out there who want to reach and help people, believe it or not. And if on top of it, I'll speak from a capitalist perspective, that of course these people do get tax breaks when they give out to charity and give money. And take their money, use their money, and get what you need to do.
Yeah, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. And like you said, $1, even if it's $1 a week, y'all. Like, I'm telling you, the money starts. I think the biggest thing for me with saving has been to put it somewhere where I don't have access to it. So if you can open up an account that's just online and you just throwing cash in there and you're not able to it's not connected to no debit card, no credit card, no nothing, then you just going to see it rack up. And if you can, put it on automatic payment. As soon as you get paid, your savings get paid. Bam. From one account to the next, one account to the next. That's when you see it stack, and when you see it starting to stack, it'll get you excited, right? Because you'll check the next month. You like, oh, I forgot to even save that money. Just like you forget that you spent money.
Yes, I have a question. I wanted to ask, like, how was your experience working with a financial advisor?
Man, you know what? I love it. He has helped me with my credit. You know what I mean? My credit is definitely in the upward swing. He's a Black man, so shouts out to Dominique Brown. That's my financial advisor. I'll leave his info in the show notes. But he's a phenomenal resource, because I feel like him being a Black man, he's able to see, and being around my age, able to see all the tactics that try to distract you from really accomplishing your own personal goals. So what I like about him is he's not wrapped up in what does it look like to be successful. He's like, what does that look like for you? So even in the beginning of working with him, it was like, what are your goals? What's the lifestyle you want to live? How do you want to retire? And how do you set up your life? in your finances so that you're hitting those goals. So every time I hit a goal, I cross it off, and it makes me feel good. Whether that's paying off the debt, whether that's saving up for something, like we saved up we wanted to get a couch last year. We got our couch, right? You know what I mean? And people are like, "Oh, is that a big deal?" And I'm like, it is a big deal, because usually in the past, I just wanted something and then I would buy it and then not pay another bill because it would just come up for that month. But I took the time out to put that money in every month to make sure that by the time it came around, the money was there. So I like buying things with cash now. Like, if I could do it forever, that's what I would buy everything with cash. My cars,
I challenge people to buy with cash all the time. I'm like,
everything, because then it's done. It's done. Once you buy it with cash, it's done. I don't owe you nothing. We don't have to talk no more about it. So it's been amazing. But I always tell folks it's not for everybody, right? Like, some people might need that, and some people, they might be able to go pick up a book and do it on their own. I know for me, because like I got hella student loan debt, and I live in one of the most expensive places in the world. Everything is thrown at me that I can't. So I needed someone to show me how I can. To check in with when the old habits start coming back. You know what I'm saying? To check in and be like, I got back in this hole. And they like, all right, this is how you gonna get out, and don't do that shit again. Try to get your life together. Right? It's almost like a life coach too.
That's right. You're trying to tell people. Like, yes, it is.
It's almost like a life coach too. But so yeah, tell us a little bit before we jump into Boy Talk and Hop, which is the fun part of the show. Tell us a little bit just about how folks can get in contact with you. Who are you interested in working with? I know you said, larger organizations, universities, but how can they get in contact with you? What's the best way? And anything else that you want to share with the community?
To get in contact with me, please follow any and all my social media platforms. So it's definitely the Trans Capitalist is on YouTube, the Trans Capitalist YouTube videos, where I have multiple videos giving multiple advice and tips that you can apply for everyday life. I have the Facebook page of the Trans Capitalist, and I'm going to hopefully start soon, like the Trans Capitalist Facebook group. And then also my Instagram, definitely the Trans Capitalist, where you also get to see more of my life and my story, especially being transgender and like navigating through those channels every day. So please, once again, and also my website will be coming and releasing soon, but the Trans Capitalist or hashtag the Trans Capitalist, I immediately pop up, and I love it. And I'm here for all the transgender people, individuals, no matter race as well, but then especially for LGBTQIA, and especially for my people of color, because we do great, dope things, and this is our time to shine, and just to let them know that anything and everything is possible. But most of all, for financial literacy, I believe in you. It is possible, and I'm your one source that I keep it 100. I keep it real. Or even if I have to call you out and just be like, yo, you're spending, that's the reason, right? Stop spending. But still, at the end of the day, I got you for questions that you may have, or books or resources of where you want to start reading. That's all in my platforms and where you can start your journey going forward. And then also for what I would love to work in the future, like for real talk, the biggest and ultimate goal is definitely working with a venture capital organization, because it's really time to make financial literacy a part of our everyday culture. If we can install it in school programs, like I know in New Jersey, they just passed a law where financial literacy has to be a course offered. Who knows, like, if that course is actually effective, but just even, and also working like major celebrities or like hip hop artists, because I know like 21 Savage, he definitely has a financial literacy campaign. Of course, Rock Nation, they're all like now they're all putting that message out there that we need to just stop buying like all these material things and start thinking about like generational wealth, or even, as I like to say, like eradicating generational poverty. Because as I always say, like once you know better, you do better. And it's just that we are, like our community on a whole, it's just lacking the basic fundamental knowledge of financial literacy. And as I say, like as soon as you start learning the rules, you will start to see improves, you'll start to see changes, and they actually feel really good. like flex. Like I love people flexing and be like, yo, I paid off this bill or I paid this with cash. Like flex on them. I'm always going to celebrate it. I probably need to start celebrating more. And that's why I love
flex on them. I paid off my car.
Exactly.
Flex on them.
Flex. Exactly.
I'll be riding around and I'm like, you mine, you my car.
Yes, exactly. Flex on. That's what I say.
Right?
Like,
I owe nobody. I owe nobody for you. You mine.
Nothing. And yo, but real talk, people need to understand like what real wealth looks like. There's a difference between being rich and wealthy, and there's definitely a difference of somebody who paid off their car, paid off their home, but chilling in everyday clothes or whatever is so much richer and wealthier than somebody who's flexing with like a Bugatti or a Ferrari or flexing on this, but they got to pay that back. Nah, they ain't rich.
Yeah, exactly. You looking rich, but you really just friends.
Exactly. Remember, wealth is silent. People need to like the business rooms and the people I've been meeting, like all the wealthy people I know, they silent. They look like everyday neighbors. So remember that.
Exactly. I was reading this book by Chris Hogan called Everyday Millionaire. You should check it out. And folks listening, just check it out too. But just reading about like people being like CVS workers, but being secretly millionaires, you know what I mean? As far as like their net worth and the fact that they don't have the debt, you know what I mean? And owning multiple properties, but still, you know, working at CVS and people don't even know. So it's like amazing to see like really how money, it's almost like a secret world, it feels like sometimes.
It is.
To kind of see how it really works. It's not right in front of you. What's right in front of you is like a distraction. So once you get there, it's a beautiful thing. All right, so you ready for Boy Talk and Hop? This is gonna be fun for your logical brain. It's more creative, so your logical brain, it's gonna be, you're gonna like it. So
I was having fun like, before, so.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, we having, you see what I'm saying? We having a great time. So you know, we're gonna be able to link up in the near future. So Boy Talk and Hop is kind of like a fill in the blank kind of situation. So I'm gonna say something like life is, and you would say life is amazing, right? Like you're gonna fill in the blank.
Got you.
So there's a few of those segments, and then we're gonna have our exit. But it's been an amazing time to talk to you. I want to thank you for that. Before we jump into that,
thank you for having me.
Keep pushing and keep doing that amazing work. And I'll probably thank you again at the end. But I always like to do it before we get into the silly part. You know what I'm saying? But I love being silly. Why not? So okay. The first question is more money, more
money, more problems. I guess it's from the New York. But nah, real talk though. Like when you're gaining like more sources of income and like to manage that or doing more projects and funding, like there's more things on your plate. So like there's problems. And then when you're like a business owner, bad stuff is going to happen. Like it's not easy.
Exactly. Love is
a beautiful thing.
My favorite smell is,
I'll say my wife. She smells so good. She smells so good.
Wifey smell. You gotta brand that, man. Put that on the person. Brand it. The wifey smell.
That's how she be getting me out here, man.
If I could spend the day with anybody, it would be blank, and we would do blank. And this could be somebody dead or alive.
Or I would do somebody. If it was somebody dead, definitely Malcolm X. I have so many pictures and like artwork of him up in my wall. I have like recordings of him. Like he's an amazing man. Like just to pick his brain, because people forget like Malcolm X was like a hustler. Like he was robbing people. He was doing drugs. He was coked up, and he still became like this amazing man. So it inspires me to let me know like no matter where you start, it's not where you might end up at. It really does not. And then alive, of course, if people know me, Jay-Z, he's my idol, like my business idol, because that man turned like nothing into something, and he's still growing. And like his strategic mind, like he knocked down all the doors to let people like the music game Like he let people know like what the real was, but still letting you know that ownership. Like he taught me the power of ownership. Like when you really own what's yours, that's why I make sure I own my business. That's why I tell people, like, if you own a business or you own a brand, make sure you own the name. Like, make sure you own everything in that. Make sure you understand what equity is, because that is the greatest leverage, or AKA, like, that is the greatest, like, bargaining tool you will ever have in this life, and the best thing to combat capitalism.
All right. The Trans Capitalist is
lit. We're going to have fun. I'm telling you. Like, I'm making financial literacy fun. I'm making education fun, and telling you, once you learn about money, like, you're going to feel so confident within yourself. You're going to know that you have a hope, a future, and then always make sure that we pass it on to those that do not know. That's my mission. What you learn, you pass it on to the next person so they know. There's no more greed. There's no more, like, working off the oppressive backs of other people or scarcity. Nah, if you learn how to attain this, teach the next person so they can have that with you too, because there ain't nothing, and I know that you can probably talk about this, like, there ain't nothing when you, like, achieve certain levels, but you don't see people that look like you. I'm tired of that. I want my people with me. I want my people winning with me. Facts.
Wellness, and finally but not least, wellness is?
Wellness is necessary. To live within this world, you need to take care of yourself on all fronts and all aspects. It's necessary. Don't let people think that, like, you have to have a job, you have to do these things. No, your number one care and priority in this world is you, because you live with you at the end of the day.
That's what's up, man. Ashe. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Oh, of course. Thank you for having me.
Giving us your knowledge. But thank you so much.
Hey, everybody. This is K.Kenneth Davis, the Trans Capitalist, and I was born, obviously, incredible. Holla.
Thanks for listening to BOI Meets Wellness. Stay connected on and off the show by following us online at BOI Meets Wellness. That's boy with an I. Until next time, go be